Welcome to RN Health Tips with Teresa Crowley, a place for inspiration, information, and support. Teresa has been an RN for 25 years and is sharing her experiences and techniques for building a healthy life. Now, here's Teresa.
Thank you for joining me. I'm Teresa Crowley. A lot of the self-care techniques and a lot of the techniques just to get through the day are things that I like to focus on. So one of them is if you feel like you're anxious. One time in my life, I felt like I was having a panic attack and I was driving in the car. I wasn't quite sure what to do. I pulled over. I was looking at the scenery and looking all around. But once I got started again and went into work, I made it a point to look and see what could I do if that happens again. I didn't know that it really was a panic attack, but I recovered and went into work and talked to someone from where I work the other day, and that's what they told me. They said, well, you're probably having a panic attack. Now, this was years ago, and so when I got to work and when we kind of confirmed that that's what it was, I decided that, okay, I need to know how to handle it. I had to drive on the highway for 30 minutes to get to work, and I couldn't stand it if that had happened again. Luckily, the first time it happened, the only time it happened, I was on a boulevard and I could pull over and I could think of things and calm down. I called work, said I was going to be late because I need to take care of myself before I continued the drive. So what was suggested to me and what I actually did look up was a grounding technique. When all is breaking loose all around ourselves, we needed some way to ground yourself, some way to take care of the emotion, the feelings, the electricity that's in the air that you're feeding off of. So a grounding technique is, one, things you can see. I really think it helped me to pull over and look at a tree and look how large it was and how it was grounded, so to speak. It had many, many limbs. It had roots that you could see that were half in the dirt and half where they had kind of come up and out of the dirt because it was such a large tree. And I kept looking at it and I compared this huge cottonwood tree to a pine tree. And that helped me a lot because then I was concentrating on something other than me. The second thing that you can do is actually start thinking about how you're feeling. What can you feel? Is there something soft, something hard, maybe something sticky around you that you can concentrate on? Okay, this is soft. This is comforting. This is hard. I like the smoothness. Or this is sticky and, ooh, what happened to my hand? Anything that you can take yourself out of the moment helps. The third thing that I think that you should do and think about, if you do have one of those anxious issues, driving, or just anxious at night, you need to know what you can hear. I mean, are you listening to the radio? If not, maybe you should listen to one of your favorite songs, your favorite radio station, some music, some calming music. Do you have a classical station that you could listen to? But concentrate and think about the things that you can hear. Are you listening to the news and it's making you just so anxious or anxiety prone when you listen to the traffic reports? Sometimes you have to take that away. It's just noise. It's an anxiety provoker. Or are you going to turn it around and use some things that you can hear to calm yourself down? The next thing that you could do is think about smells. Now, when I smell buttered popcorn, it makes me nauseous. And that's because when I was younger, I went into a grocery store to pick something up, and it was on a holiday. And it was just something that we didn't have for dinner. I think it may be even a Thanksgiving dinner. And I walked into a convenience store and they had buttered popcorn in there. And I wasn't feeling good. That's why I wanted to leave the house, get some fresh air. And when I walked in there and I smelled buttered popcorn, it made me nauseous. And to this day, buttered popcorn smell makes me nauseous. I rush through a movie theater to get to my seat because I do not like that smell. Think about the good things you can smell, like how about cookies? Realtors at times are baking cookies or putting a really nice smell in a house, making it smell like, oh, well, you guys are cooking or something, so that people can relate to a good time. Some people, when they smell cookies baking, think, oh, grandma, and there's a lot of good feeling there. Some people, none at all. It smells cookies, okay, well, I can't eat them, and then it goes the other way. But if you think of a smell that you're happy with, maybe your perfume, maybe there's just one perfume that you love so much and it's your signature, so to speak. Or maybe it's the smell of an aftershave for someone who you cared about, your grandfather, your father, or maybe a spouse or a boyfriend. That smell, an aftershave, brings back a good memory. Awesome. The sense of smell is very, very strong. And finally, think good things about yourself. What is something very good in your life that you can think of? Do you have a grandchild? Do you have a new car? Do you have all your work done at work for the day? You need to do some grounding, and you need to think of something good in your life. Professional, personal, or something like a trip that you're thinking of. Do something, think of something that is good about you. These things should calm you down. These things should take you to a different place where you're stronger. Now, again, your grounding technique can be things that you can see, things you feel, things that you can hear, things that you can smell, and a good thing about you. I don't think we give each other enough credit. So that last one might be the first one you think of. But when you're anxious and anxiety prone, and you think of just one of those 5, it's awesome. Take yourself away from that anxiety area. Bring yourself into an area that's better and healthier for you. That's all for today. Thank you so much for joining me.